Thank you so much, Amy. And first, I ask that we take a moment to remember the memory and the legacy of a former honoree, the Reverend William Lawson, who was honored in 2020 with his passing, indeed. Yeah. And with his passing, Houston and the nation really has lost an incredible friend and a pastoral leader. Well, known as Houston's pastor, Reverend Lawson's reach extended well beyond the church he founded, Wheeler Avenue Baptist Church. And we remember the civil rights icon, and we are so very, very grateful for his impact in Houston and the nation. And of course, our hearts go out to the Lawson family. We at ABC 13 have been saying all week, we love you, Mel. Houston is the beneficiary of great leaders like Reverend Lawson. And to recognize the efforts of these exemplary individuals, the Kinder Institute bestows the Stephen L. Klineberg Award, which is named in honor of the co-founder of the Kinder Institute for Urban Research, Dr. Stephen Klineberg. The Klineberg Award is presented each and every year to an individual who has had a lasting and indelible impact on Houston. Like the mission of the Kinder Institute itself, the honoree is focused on helping to build a better Houston and a better life for all. In Houston, healthcare is an integral part of our community at every single level, and we know that. Well, community here, and not only in our economy, not only is it driven by it, we as residents benefit from our proximity to world-class medicine, but our families and friends serve across all facets of our healthcare system. And this year, the Stephen L. Klineberg Award is presented to Dr. Marc L. Boom. He's the president and CEO of Houston Methodist for his outstanding leadership in healthcare. So interested in medicine at an early age, Dr. Boom almost became a veterinarian. But we are so thankful, well, all of us humans are thankful that he found his way to primary care. Starting at the University of Texas with a bachelor's degree in biology, he moved on to Baylor College of Medicine for his MD, and then to a residency at Massachusetts General Hospital in Boston. Following that, a fellowship of internal and geriatric medicine at the Hospital of the University of Pennsylvania. And while in Philadelphia, and realizing he had an interest in the business of healthcare, he earned his MBA from the Wharton School. And then in 1997, he returned to Houston and began his career at Methodist. And aren't we glad he returned? Yes, I heard a woo. I agree. Dr. Boom has served in many different roles within the organization, but his role as CEO stands out as exceptional. During his tenure, the name was changed to honor our great city, and Houston Methodist, one of the founding institutes in the Texas Medical Center, has now grown tremendously, both externally in size and structure, and internally through purposeful culture. With strong parents as a role model, it is no wonder he was able to lead with such composure in unprecedented times, and you know what I'm talking about, through the pandemic, right? Before presenting the award, please join me in watching this very special video tribute to showcase Dr. Boom's leadership and his passion.
My passion, my focus as a physician is how do we provide care to patients that is so centered on them. I always talk about unparalleled safety, quality, service, and innovation. Unparalleled means we're never going to be satisfied tomorrow with where we were yesterday. We are going to drive to be the absolute best in everything we do. Just the beginning of this month, I actually celebrated my 27th year working at Houston Methodist. I've been CEO for the last 12 plus years. I still maintain a small clinical practice. It's a great honor and a great privilege to do that. It keeps me as a CEO connected to the passion and purpose of why we're all in healthcare, and quite frankly, it lets me just have wonderful one-on-one relationships.
I know he's working.
You know, it's been an eventful 12 years. We knew that we were on the threshold of becoming truly one of the great hospital systems anywhere in the country. When I became CEO, we had just under 14,000 employees. Today we have over 32,000 employees, so we've grown tremendously. One of the things I'm most proud of is actually our culture, which is really the bedrock of who we are. It's been very gratifying. Out of about 170 or 180 hospitals, we rank number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in the country. I'm really proud of those results that we've all been able to achieve because of such a great team of people who work at Houston Methodist. You know, I have no doubt that when I look back, the thing I'm sure I will remember most vividly were those COVID times, particularly some of the early, really difficult times. Houston Methodist is structured as an independent academic medical center. COVID was sort of a proof point for why that structure works so well. We are nimble and effective. When COVID happened, we were able to mobilize. We were able to be a site for many, many clinical trials. We did numerous things, from having a COVID test before almost anybody did, to more COVID vaccines administered in the state of Texas than any other institution, and to our vaccine mandate, which ultimately led the way for countless healthcare systems to do the right thing to protect patients across the United States. You know, when you think about public health and you think about the U.S. health system, on one hand, we are the envy of healthcare around the world. We have people come to Houston Methodist from well over 90 countries every single year. It's a very significant part of what we do. But on the other side, if you don't have access, and access really means coverage and insurance in the United States, it's a totally different story. Most solutions are not easy to find, but they're there. We can't do it alone. Other institutions in the Texas Medical Center can't do it alone. What we do is dramatic. We provide hundreds of millions of dollars, somewhere around $500 million each year in charity care at cost to people in need, and we're very, very proud of that. In addition, between research and education and other community benefits, we provide something on the order of $1.2 to $1.3 billion in total benefit to the community. I first moved to Houston when I was 14 years old. I just absolutely adore this city. It is an amazing city. Why? Because it is such a warm, welcoming city. It is a city where if you are driven and you want to succeed, you can succeed. And it's a city that wears its diversity on its sleeve and embraces its diversity, is leading the way for the rest of the country in all of the beauty, all the exciting things that come from us being a city like that.
And his impact on Houston is far-reaching, and we are so grateful for all of the care that he has taken for our community. Please help us congratulate Dr. Marc L. Boom.
Wow, thank you. I bet the best part of that is my daughters are there feeling really awkward watching all of that today. Good afternoon. I am deeply, deeply humbled to accept this 2024 Stephen L. Klineberg Award. You know, being acknowledged with an award named after Stephen Klineberg, somebody whose lasting impact I deeply, deeply admire, holds immense significance to me. I want to thank Ruth for her visionary leadership, which has been instrumental in shaping the Kinder Institute and the indispensable force that it is today. And of course, under her guidance, the Institute is a beacon of hope, bringing attention to many critical issues that we've seen up here today, such as housing, education, economic mobility, community health, and population dynamics. I also want to thank Rich and Nancy Kinder. Your unwavering support and foresight in creating and nurturing the Kinder Institute has paved the way to touch the lives of thousands and thousands and thousands in our city. And to all of you gathered here today, I am profoundly grateful for this honor. I accept it with very deep appreciation for the hard work, the dedication, the sacrifice of my coworkers at Houston Methodist. They're the reason that I'm standing up here today. And I must acknowledge what it took to get here. We all endured a global pandemic that none of us would have ever imagined or had experienced in our lifetimes. And our team trusted the science and blocked out all of the outside noise and stayed nimble and were able to adapt to the situation as it rapidly changed. And then we made tough decisions when we needed to, and we stuck to them, remaining steadfast. As you know, our physicians, our nurses, our healthcare workers were there to care for our community and our patients when things were very uncertain, oftentimes putting their own lives at risk and certainly on hold. We treated tens of thousands of patients from our community, and in order to protect those patients, ourselves, and the families we would go home to at night, we decided to mandate the vaccine for our employees and physicians. And we stood tall under very immense pressure, but our employees and our doctors rallied to do the right thing for our community, together, totally courageous. We were sued, we were criticized, we were questioned, and still we knew we needed to trailblaze and protect others and lead by example, always staying true to our sacred obligation to care for our community and to keep our patients safe. Because our team was vaccinated, they were able to be, thank you. Because our team was vaccinated, they were there and they were able to care for patients with COVID-19 and patients with other illnesses. We never closed a single bed. We never laid off or furloughed any of our staff. We were all in. And sadly, we also experienced firsthand the unnecessary conflict that's in our society today that hinders so much progress. As a result of these experiences, I speak out regularly about adopting an "and" mentality, embracing diversity in all of its forms, including diversity of thought, so that we make the very best decisions. And too often, our world is predicated on an "or" mindset. But when we all think in terms of an "and," everybody wins. This award and the wonderful work of the Kinder Institute are reminders that caring for others matters and working together makes a difference. I'm also keenly aware of the esteemed company I will join today as a recipient of this award. Actually, I thought it was a mistake when I first got the email. I'm following in the footsteps of remarkable individuals such as former Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner, Dr. Ann Chow, who's here today, and of course the late Reverend William Lawson, who we sadly lost last week and saw that lovely, or heard about that lovely tribute. Their legacies inspire me and our teams to strive for excellence and to make meaningful contributions to our community. I'm also here today because of the unwavering support of my family. My parents, John and Monique Boom, my in-laws, Marcia and Doug Newport, are here today. And two of our three children were able to be here today. Our oldest, Catherine, is actually on vacation for a week at home from her pediatrics residency at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. And our youngest, Janie, is actually graduating from high school this Thursday. And we'll head to Georgetown in the fall. I am so very proud of both of you and your brother, who is in New York and could not be with us today. And most importantly, of course, my wife, Julie, the love of my life. My family challenge and inspire me, and most importantly, keep me grounded, mostly by never letting me forget that while I may be the CEO at work at Houston Methodist, Julie is the CEO at home. I literally caught her reciting that to one of my children when they were 2, so it gets indoctrinated very early. I'm also deeply grateful for my other family, the 32,000 wonderful people, my board members and direct colleagues who are here today from Houston Methodist, where collaboration and innovation thrive, where we place patients at the center of everything we do, and where we continually strive for excellence in leading medicine. I often tell my coworkers at Houston Methodist that working in medicine is a sacred calling, and I believe that with all of my heart. Finally, I'm thankful to live in a city where institutions like the Kinder Institute exist, dedicated to driving and fostering equity, building a more enriching and vibrant Houston for all. Once again, thank you very much for this incredible honor.